G'day, G'day, Matt from Down Under here. Just wanted to share with you today a build that's pretty extreme. One is toothpick. What can I say? Big ass motors, big ass battery, big ass current. It's going to be a fair party. So this is the Savage B frame. Love this frame. Very easy to get a good tune out of it. Good for solid throws. So VTX is mounted underneath. Eco HC0 Eco VTX. Brought the wires through for the Eco camera. It's a pain in the ass to assemble, but it's worth it. Power and UART are on the left here, and basically I'm going to feed them up through the frame and solder onto the all-in-one. So this is the MEPS all-in-one 13 amp BL32 board. It's a 1S rated board. Has black box. It comes with the motor JSTs on, and they're really shit, so I get rid of them. I've soldered on all the motors and put on the liquid electrical tape, and then a nice short XT30 run and a Happy Model EP2 receiver. So now I'm just going to assemble this to the frame, get it all together, go from there. Battery holder is a bit more enlarged than the typical version. That's usually for a 500 milliamp hour pack. For this toothpick, because I'm running crazy motors, I'm going with some custom 850 milliamp hour packs. They're being ripped out of,
Where the hell is it?
these Tattoos 4S 850 packs. Now these have got a rating of 45C. So 45 times 850 equals, enough bloody current to have a bit of fun with. Yes, it's going to be heavier, but current draw equals torque, and that's where I'm hoping I'll break even and actually have a net increase in performance. Canopy is the Eco camera canopy from Stinky, I think it is. It's a great little one. I'm printing out a variant that just has a bit more on the base. They're off camera printing at the moment, and yeah, we'll get the build together. Cheerio. Here's the good old Happy Model 1202.5 11,500 kV. See those motor windings in there, looking pretty stock standard, looking pretty much to be machine wound. And that gauge is whatever that gauge is. Now that's a Happy Model RCM power 1202.5 11,500 kV, so same specs. You'll notice the windings here are also machine wound by the looks, and seem to be a similar gauge to Happy Model. Then we've got their 1303 11,500, so all the same kVs. Starting to look a bit chunky, eh? Compare that to the 1202 again. We've got that gauge there. They're looking a little bit more uniform in their wire wrapping. These things do draw a bit of current. Now the FPV cycle 13mm, which are a 1300 motor. These are the 11,400 kV. Chunky gauge. Fair bit of magnet spacing though. I was never really a fan of these motors. Now the motors today are the AMAX 1303. Oh, it's the kV on these things is crazy. 12,500 kV. Look at that. That is just a monster winding. You have got a several steps up in gauge. I mean, check this out. Even against the 1303. Look at that versus that. Chunky as. So these things are gonna absolutely dump the current. So 10 amps per motor, 40 amp plus peaks, driving off a 1C battery. It's hard to achieve, but it can be done by using custom batteries with a high C rating.
Sweet.
The pads on this Maps controller are real shit. They're tiny. Where is it? Yeah, not very good. They had the motor plugs in them originally. Here I'm trying to make it work so I can put some motor wires on. I've scratched off a bit of this center pad just to create an area a bit larger for the motor wire to connect to. It's a bit shit, but what? Yeah, so I'm hoping I can bridge the middle wire in this center scratched off bit to keep it away from the other two. And then with the other two wires, I can just attach them on the outside edge of each of those pads. So we want to bring the center wire in first. Let's get that joined. Nice and solid. Let's do outer wire here. Come on. Alright. Other wire. So you can see they're tricky close. The key is to offset and have space. Doing this without magnification though, no. Not with my 49-year-old eyes. Yeah, solid. Look at that. Now this is going to be a toothpick and it's going to be draining. I don't know. I mean, it could easily peak 10 amps per motor the way I'm designing it. So you want, these little pads that are traditionally for whoops and JST motor sockets. You want them well connected. You'd be surprised the amount of current that can go through this, pretty small connection. Okay, so here it is all assembled. Took a bit getting those wires through and soldered on for the VTX, but all good. Pretty beefy, pretty solid. Battery mount all the way through, short E to XT60, which is working out well. Haven't stuck down the EP2 yet. What else can I tell you? The antenna just feeds up through the bottom here onto this little 3D printed latch that I made. Works well. Props are always going to be close with these builds, but in this case it's pretty sweet. The canopy's worked out well. It's a low pitch at the moment. I think it's 35 degrees. Props are in view. Yeah, but what can I say? It's all mounted up. USB is accessible from the top here. Pretty straightforward. And yeah, we went for Maiden Rip. No great tune on it just yet. But this test battery I've got is pretty old and cranky. It's looking pretty beat up. It's from older toothpicks. Had a fair few runs through it and it's a little bit pufferama. So that one bottomed out around the 3.10 volt mark. Any punch outs just resulted in the VTX browning out. So I'll show you a short clip of that, and then afterwards I'm going to be installing this little puppy. This is the Fractal Engineering Boosty Boy or Boost Baby I think it is, takes a 1S input and will drive the VTX at 5 volts. Really low, works really well. I have another video, I'll link in the description, testing this down to 2 volts. Yeah, so I'm going to chuck that in there so it survives the punch outs, but promising, but then we'll get another rip proper later. Yeah, she's heavy. Oh shit, that's not good. The Boosty Boy is this device here. This is installed on the bottom of the VTX. The voltage in on the right comes from the battery. The voltage out on the left goes out at 5 volts to the VTX. This is version 1.2 or 1R2 of the Eco VTX. So when you're connecting a BEC like this little Boost Baby thing, you have to connect it to this capacitor up here. So that was a bit of a pain in the ass to do. And then the ground goes over to the ground pad just on the other side, on the underside, sorry, and that's connected to the capacitor that's there. That's sort of retrofitted in on this version 1.2. Yeah, that's the documented way of running a BEC for the Eco VTX, and not to run the BEC straight off the normal battery pads. So hopefully this will prevent the brownouts. I run the power wires for the HD0 Eco VTX straight onto the board. This is a close-up near the power, and you can see ground is connected on the right there, but there's no pad on the all-in-one flight controller that is VCC or VBAT. They're only 5 volt pads. So instead of trying to connect over to the power wire here, which is a bit of a pain, I went on the output side of the current reading resistor. This way the VTX current drain and power that it's draining from the battery is also included in the measurement on the on-screen display. So that's cool. Okay, this is now with the Boosty Boy. Let's see how it goes. Still a ratty battery. Ooh. Yeah, it tune's not 100% yet. Boosty Boy's definitely doing its thing. Look at that punch out. Under 2 volts. Look at that. Sweet. Yeah. Wow. Ouch. Yep. It just climbs. Stops on a dime.
Let me go. Use.
Alright, I'd call that a success.